Hi, my name is Ray, and I am the owner of the Salutary Place. I'd like to come on here today to give you an insight on the differences between whole foods and convenience foods. Whole foods are whole, unadulterated, nutrient-dense foods like your apples, your oranges, whole chickens, your bell peppers, your corn, your squash. Convenience foods are foods that are convenient. They are pre-made, pre-packaged, mostly frozen type foods like your pizzas, your pre-cut vegetables, your frozen entrees, your cookies, popcorn, granola bars even. Convenient foods don't have to be all junk food. They could be healthy foods as well. The difference that you want between your whole foods and your convenience foods is your whole foods you want to make up at least 80% of your diet. 90 would be great, even 100. When you have your whole foods, though, you want to also keep it seasonal. That way your food goes straight from the farm to your table with less travel time in between. When it's out of season, you have your foods that are being shipped from abroad and they're being picked early so they last that however many days or week trip to the grocery store. And then when you get it, it looks fresh, but in actuality, it's still under ripened. That's why when you get bananas from the store, because bananas really don't grow in the US, they usually get it from another country. You still have to put it in a brown paper bag to let them ripen. That is the kind of thing that you want to avoid. Bananas are great, but because of the carb and the natural sugars, they are something you want to eat in moderation. When you are getting your fruits and vegetables that are in season, you can get them locally. And that way you don't have to get it shipped from across the nation or across the sea. Whole foods, what you want to look for, especially if possible, try to get organic. That way the fruits and vegetables have not been sprayed with pesticides or any other chemicals have been used in the fields while they were growing. Corn is I won't say a gray area, but corn is harder to do because it has been known to be genetically modified. Well, certain types of corn. If you can find organic corn or get it directly from a farmer, that's even better because then you can talk to the farmer at the farmer's market or at their farm, ask them questions about how they process their fields before they plant, during the growing season, and then when they harvest. If you can't do organic, no problem. Just try to buy in season. That way you know that the vegetable is, or fruit is, had a shorter travel time than if you were buying like strawberries in the dead of winter, or oranges in the dead of winter. You know that they're not growing, at least in your area. They still have to be shipped from either California or Florida. When it comes to meat, if you are a meat eater, try to get organic or antibiotic free. That way you know that chicken, beef, pork, fish, seafood is going to be more nutrient dense and it won't be modified by extra antibiotics being added to their growing process or towards the end of their life. If you If you were to get fruits and vegetables that are out of season, your best bet is to go the convenient food route, which is buying it frozen. Frozen, especially if it's flash frozen. Flash frozen meant it was picked fresh and frozen within, like, I think 15, 20 minutes. So those nutrients are captured in that fruit or vegetable. If you don't want to buy a whole bunch of like bell peppers, they do have at the grocery store, I guess it depends on which store you go to, pre-sliced bell pepper mixes. So you're not just getting the red or the green, you're getting red, yellow, orange, green. And so those, because they were sliced and then flash frozen, do contain the nutrients and vitamins that you will need in your journey to eating healthier. When it comes to, I don't want to call it junk food, but if you're going to include convenient foods in your diet, what you want to do is go for the less sodium, the less sugar route. So if you are getting like a frozen dinner, try to get one of like, what do you call it, the healthier lean cuisines. What's the other one? Healthy choice. But caveat, look at the sodium count. Look at the carb count. If the carbs are over, I think it's 24 grams, it's going to add more blood sugar spikes, if you want to call it that. It's going to make your body work harder to process those carbs. When you go for the low sodium, make sure that there's no added sugars. Again, that's for blood sugar spikes. You want to make sure that you're eating as healthy as possible. And like I said, you want your whole food to be at least 80% of your healthy eating process. The other 20% or 10%, go ahead and use convenient foods, but make sure that you're making well-informed decisions. Make sure that it's going along with how you want to eat. If you want to eat healthier, definitely go for the convenient foods that are in alignment with what you want for your journey. If you want to have like treats every now and again, definitely go ahead and get your mini pizzas, but eat them sparingly. Moderation is the key. So in essence, you want to try and eat at least 80 to 90% of whole foods, which is unadulterated, nutrient dense foods. You want to try to stay away from the convenience foods, but if wherever you live at, whatever your budget is, if you have to do convenience foods, even those that have issues with dexterity, convenience foods will help you, especially the pre-cut vegetables. Just make sure that you are getting the frozen. The fresh in the produce section is great if you're going to use it that same night. If you're not going to use it that same day, or at least within 2 days of buying it, go for frozen. And all you have to do is unthaw it. If you are a new cook, sometimes that will help, especially if you don't have your knife skills down yet. Safety in the kitchen is always a must. So if you don't know how to properly hold a knife or properly hold the vegetable or fruit that you're cutting without nipping the tips of your fingers, make a claw. That way, when you're doing the knife, it's going against the edges of your knuckles, and you're not going to cut yourself. You go slowly, number one. Make sure your knife is sharpened, number two, because dull knives cause more accidents. And then number 3, the claw. If you use your hand as a claw, as you slowly cut, dice, chop, slice, whatever, a lot less accidents in the kitchen. If you don't trust your skills yet, definitely go for the convenient foods, the pre-sliced, pre-diced, like your onions, your bell peppers. If you're making smoothies, go for the frozen strawberries or the frozen fruit mixes. Just make sure that it says on the bag, flash frozen. That way you know it was frozen fresh. You're going to get your full nutrients, your vitamins, your minerals, all of that. And yeah, if you like this tip, please reach out to me. My contact information is in the link in my is a link in my bio. If you would like to schedule an introductory call with me, that link is also in my bio. And you can schedule on my Calendly, and I shall talk to you later. Thanks.